Taiwan, I'm Louise and here's news from Taiwan and around the world. Guatemala's new president has reaffirmed his country's ties with Taiwan.
Como gobierno, nuestra misión es ampliar las relaciones comerciales con todos los países del mundo, porque eso es parte de esa integración al comercio internacional. Las relaciones diplomáticas las vamos a mantener con Taiwán.
Arebelo's statement is the first time he's publicly voiced support for ties with Taiwan since taking office in January. It comes after Guatemala's foreign minister told Reuters his country wanted to pursue trade relations with China, sparking fears the country would sever relations with Taiwan. China makes breaking diplomatic ties with Taiwan a precondition for any negotiations. Guatemala is one of Taiwan's 12 remaining official allies. Chinese leader Xi Jinping has reiterated Beijing's claims over Taiwan during a Lunar New Year's speech. He said that China opposes Taiwan independence. China claims sovereignty over Taiwan despite never having ruled the self-governing democracy. Taiwan's foreign ministry responded by saying that Taiwan and China's governments remain separate. Xi's remarks come after Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen gave her own holiday address. She said that her country will continue to protect its sovereignty and uphold democratic values. China is keeping the pressure on Taiwan as both countries celebrate their Lunar New Year holidays. On Saturday, Taiwan's defense ministry said it detected 8 Chinese balloons near Taiwan within 24 hours. 2 of those balloons flew over the country. Taiwan has been complaining about Chinese balloons since December. It says they threaten aviation safety and are an attempt by Beijing to intimidate the public. Beijing has previously said they are for weather purposes. With a new lunar year comes people wishing for new fortunes. One holiday tradition involves going to temples to get seed money. Leslie Liao explains.
Moolah, money, cold, hard cash. No matter what you call it, during the Lunar New Year, people in Taiwan most often seek to make their fortune. One way people go about securing financial success this time of year is by going to temples and receiving seed money. These often nominal and symbolic coins are supposed to bless the holders with financial fortune for the coming year. People in Taiwan take seed money seriously. One temple in New Taipei City prepared 100,000 pieces of lucky cash. Crowds flocked to the scene in hopes of securing their own. Some people traveled long distances to get there. And once believers got to the temple, there was a long line of people waiting to collect their coins. Over in Changhua County, people began lining up outside a temple before the sun came up. People braved the cold weather to get one of this temple's 5,000 limited coins. In Taiwan, it's believed that how your Lunar New Year starts is how the rest of your year will go. Money may not grow on trees, but with a little seed money from the right temple, watered with a fair bit of luck, it might begin to grow in your bank account. Scott Huang and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
A big shiny dragon has been spotted winding through a temple in northern Taiwan. But look a little closer and you'll see those aren't scales at all. Artist Ye Junnan and his team spent 2 months making the bronze beast, using more than 680,000 coins worth around $20,000 US. Aside from welcoming the Year of the Dragon, Hsinchu's Taichu Xuanqing Temple is also celebrating its 25th anniversary. They're inviting people to come check it out and pray for an auspicious new year. At this time of year, it's traditional to get together with family for a meal. But what about elderly people living alone or people experiencing homelessness? One charity in Taiwan has been hard at work, so no one feels left out. Elderly people and those without homes in one southern Taiwan county are getting into the spirit of the Lunar New Year. They're enjoying food and company on a day when most Taiwanese will be sitting down to dinner with their families. These young people are part of a charity in Pingtung County that's giving out 500 hot meals of soup and rice, so people who live on the street or alone don't feel forgotten. A local restaurant owner started it 3 years ago. He says he wanted to give back to society.
跟我老婆都苦过来的啦，所以我们想说，因为我们也是做生意的，然后是想说，因为做生意也是会有一些街友会去跟我们，就是说要不要可不可以给我们一个饭一个汤这样子？那我们就说，既然我们都要做吃的了，那不如就是出自爱心就给他们这样子就好。
They have made soup with cabbage, mushrooms, pork and fish balls, providing warmth in the winter for people who would otherwise be without food and family at this festive time. As the Year of the Dragon has officially started, and many people's fridges will be full of the leftovers from last night's Lunar New Year feast. And one thing they're sure to be holding on to is Mullet Roe. Our reporters Laurel Stewart and Eric Tsai show you how it's made.
Making the most of the Kaohsiung sun, this shopkeeper is drying her wares on the side of the street. She sells Mullet Roe, a specialty in Taiwan that appears on many banquet tables during the Lunar New Year.
乌鱼子对我来讲是一个怀念的味道，因为小时候我们都去我外公家，那我外公家过年的时候，真的桌子上一定会有乌鱼子这道菜。
过年爱吃乌鱼子啦，嘿啦，这上好的迄个佳肴啊。
因为平常不会常常吃啊，然后过年吃的时候就会第一个好吃，第二个是有气氛。
But behind these drying pallets, there's a whole production process.
So we've both eaten Mullet Roe before, but what is it? Why is it a must-have during the lunar holiday?
Well, I don't know, but thankfully we're here to learn more about how to make Mullet Roe.
Here at the Zhenfang Mullet Roe factory, they're cleaning the egg sacs of mullet fish. Those then get salted and dried, transforming into this unique delicacy. But when we had to go ourselves, it wasn't so easy.
我粘了，但它有点太软。
It's like really squishy.
It's very squishy.
But despite the not so pleasant texture, we continued to wash, salt and shape the Mullet Roe.
At this point, we're allowed to talk to the Mullet Roe and tell it to be tasty so that later we can enjoy it.
The tradition of eating Mullet Roe during the Lunar New Year didn't spring up out of nowhere.
乌鱼子啊，它是我们台湾比较特殊的饮食文化。那其实过年过节啊，第一道菜它一定都冷盘，我们那个桌菜一定都会是乌鱼子。 那它其实因为刚好过年吧，然后它也是过年最后的一种洄游性鱼类。那它来台湾的时候，其实也都算是我们台湾渔民的一个年终奖金啊。金色的，对，所以其实很像金条啊，我们都开玩笑说它是金条。
While Mullet Roe is a symbol of good fortune and prosperity in Taiwan, other countries make similar dishes with different fish, where they take on different meanings.
在台湾，我们可能是送给重要的人；那在南美洲，它是送给情人。哦，你知道为什么吗？因为它反过来就是一个爱心。哦。对。
所以每个地方意思都不一样。 Wow.
Well, a lot of times actually Lunar New Year falls around Valentine's Day. So yeah, so you can actually just present your heart to your lover or your family.
And while our Mullet Roe still needs to sit and dry for about 2 weeks, we got to taste some that was ready to eat. Ours was toasted over flaming liquor to give it a crispy and fragrant finish.
It's very salty. And it's soft, and you can taste the liquor as well.
So usually in my family, we would pair it up with daikon radish and with a little bit of scallion. Have you had it other ways too?
Yeah, I've had it with apple, sliced apple, and they're quite often served in big cold dishes. But it helps with the saltiness. For sure.
Yeah.
Having it on its own is quite strong.
But regardless of what Mullet Roe is served with or how it's prepared, we've got our fingers crossed it brings everyone prosperity in the new year. Devin Tsai, John Su, Peachy Chuang, Eric Tsai and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
Fields of gold are attracting visitors to Taiwan's southeast coast. Laurel Stewart reports on how a crop is pulling in the public.
Nestled between these mountains in Taitung, this Valley of Gold is not just an essential crop for farmers. The rapeseed flowers also draw tourists to Zhishan every year. The crop is usually harvested at the beginning of spring, but with this year's Lunar New Year falling later than usual, some worried they wouldn't have time to visit the area while the crop's in bloom. To solve the problem, the government is subsidising farmers to delay their harvests till after the New Year, so more tourists can visit over the holiday period.
协调跟情商大约播了90公顷，在伯公庙前面，它的画面是最美的，尤其当我们的火车经过的时候。
Farmers usually grow rapeseed before planting rice, the other crop that Zhishan is known for. It helps increase soil fertility and reduces the amount of fertilizer they need to use. But in Zhishan, it's also a central part of the seasonal cuisine.
它期限很短啦，基本上在半个月至1个月内就不会吃得到这一道我们比较特别在中午线吃得到的油菜花了。
And it's a novelty for tourists too.
都是吃芥蓝炒牛肉，没有吃过说那个油菜炒牛肉。
And by extending the harvest season a little longer than usual, the aim is to bring a touch of gold to everyone visiting Zhishan over the new year. Ryan Wu and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
New technology from Switzerland is helping people with prosthetic limbs once again feel the warmth of loved ones. Harel Hughes explains.
Fabrizio smiles in surprise. He's just experienced a sensation that he last felt almost 40 years ago. That's when he lost part of his arm. And the warmth of this scientist's hand is the first his injured limb has felt since. It's all thanks to some new technology.
E l'ho scoperto nel tempo, non sapevo che era così, questa sensazione all'interno di una mano che non c'è più. È più intensiva della mano normale nel sentire il caldo e il freddo.
The program is called Mini Touch. Scientists built it taking advantage of a phenomenon reported by many amputees called phantom limbs, where they continue to feel sensations in their lost limbs long after they are removed. The tech works with man-made body parts and uses electric signals to send heat information, allowing people who have lost their limbs to feel with their replacements.
They can come with their own prosthesis. We can sensorize that, and that's what we showing in this recent paper, to integrate the thermal information. And as you nicely said, it phenomenologically, it is similar to the experience we have with our intact hand.
The device was fitted in Fabrizio's existing prosthesis and attached to a point on his arm. During the test, he could feel thermal sensations in his phantom index finger. He could tell the difference between hot and cold. This has practical uses, but researchers noticed the biggest benefit was personal.
When they were touching the hand of somebody, of a loved one, that seemed to be even more important, although not maybe directly functional, but much more important from a social point of view. And we could also show it with our prototype. We could show that with eyes closed, they could detect if they were touching a fake hand versus a real hand, and that they could really have this more human-like touch when they were in contact with somebody.
In the future, researchers hope to expand the points so users can feel a wider range of sensations. But for now, they've shown that even something made in a lab can have a human touch. Leon Lian and Harel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we take a tour of Lunar New Year celebrations around the world. I'm Louise Watt. Take care and Happy New Year.